What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. In this episode, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different here. We're actually going to be talking about keeping our devices clean. I get questions every once in a while from friends, family, people online asking, what's the best way to keep your device clean? Now, always, first thing I'm going to suggest is putting it in a protective case or, just be very wary of what you're doing with it since these devices can cost upward of $700. Always keep that in mind. It's a $700 device if that's what it does cost. Even if it costs $100, $200, you don't. There's no reason to throw that in the dirt. Even though it's a companion. It comes with us all the time, so we get kind of used to it just being with us. So we take it for granted. But when it comes to cleaning, there's two things that I want to go ahead and kind of suggest of keeping it clean here. So the first thing is obviously going to be some sort of cloth to keep it clean. That's either going to be a microfiber cloth, which I highly suggest, or one of these cloths that you see maybe for glasses. So anybody that has a prescription pair of glasses, you've seen these before. It's kind of like a microfiber. It's just really, really soft material. That way when you, sorry about the shaking there, when you wipe on a screen, it's not going to scratch it because it's such a fine cloth. It's for glass. And if your eyes are going to stare through glass, it's going to be fine on something like this. When it comes to products, also, let me backtrack real quick, talking about something like a cloth. Don't use something like a tissue or a paper towel or anything like that, a napkin, because those are rough. Even though you're not going to notice right away, you just don't want to be putting something rough and scraping it down on these protective layers. In the beginning, these are very, very sturdy, but over time, things just get a little more brittle, wear and tear happens on it. So the longer you keep scratching on here, chances are you're going to actually eventually put something on there. But I just want to leave that as a note. When it comes to actual fluids, materials to put on here, you don't want to put any chemicals. There are screen cleaners. You need to be careful and wary about that. Make sure it has no acidics in it. The acidics will eventually eat away with this. It'll also fade it, so your colors will start fading out. But even water, you need to be very, very careful with. If you're going to use water, you need to be on such a light, damp cloth. You don't want to be too much on here just because you don't want it to get into any of the crevices. And so, I preferably would not like people to do that. Try to stick with a microfiber cloth or something like that and make sure that everything is clean. There's no oils or anything on that because when you do put it on your tablet, you don't want it to rub on there and make it even dirtier. When it comes to maybe cleaning out the little nooks and crannies of places, there's two ways of doing that. One is with maybe a toothpick-like material or object where you can kind of get in there and scrape it out. Be a little careful with that because you don't want to push any of your buttons or squeeze them or get the toothpick lodged in there. A can of air would probably be your best bet if you can get a can of air and just kind of get in there and just spray it, clean out everything. Don't blow in with your mouth because there is moisture in your mouth, whether you think there's moisture coming out of your mouth or not. It's just like if you see fog in a cold day, you don't see that fog coming out of your mouth coming out of your mouth, the hot breath, the hot steam of your breath in a hot day because it's just not there, but it's always there. So when you're breathing into a device, you don't want to do that because the moisture is going to get inside of your device, and that's how things get ruined. If you've dropped something and maybe it does get wet, they say the whole bag of rice trick to get the water. I don't suggest that because there's a lot of dust in rice. What you want to do is, and keep a note of this, is every time you buy a new pair of shoes or anybody buys a new pair of shoes or something, those little teeny bags that are inside that keeps the moisture out, they're little teeny, like almost salt packets. But all they do is they keep the moisture out. Keep collecting those over and over again. And actually what you can do is you put those in a jar and you can put your device in there, and those are going to work a lot better in getting that moisture out. That's a trick of the trade, by the way. But realistically, that's all you really need to know when it comes to keeping a device clean. It's pretty easy, but as always, the best thing to do is put a protective case on it, put a screen protector over it. Those are going to save you first. Then, of course, keep it clean. Even if you do put a screen protector on there, I highly suggest changing that screen protector every month to 2 months, maybe 3 months. That way you can pull it off and really get in there and clean this off, because the screen protector, even though it protects the screen, it always leaves like a little edge. And those edges can start building up muck, and eventually it'll press into the screen and it leaves a line that will be there forever, even when you take the screen protector off and put another one on. So it's good to keep changing those out every once in a while. Plus the pressure of you keeping a screen protector on there and constantly being pressed against the screen eventually, it's just going to leave a small little line. And it's not going to be enough to where your finger can feel it, but it'll be enough to where your eyes can see it, and it can drive you up the wall. Just a word warning. But as always, that's all I want to go ahead and talk about in this video. If you do have any questions or comments or any points you want to go ahead and point out, put it down below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next video. Peace.